No, because the dog coming back next week. Where do show? No, dog coming back next week. Yeah, I'd rather that. 2031 playoffs. We're finally at the divisional round. Well, the division round over. We're already at the championship rounds. 2 games tonight. One played very soon. The AFC game will be played very soon, and the NFC game will be played somewhere around 10 p.m., 10:30 tonight. We have to talk about what happened in the divisional round. We'll recap real fast, see what happened. As you can see, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5 in the wild card rounds moved on. On the AFC side, we had every home team won their game. On the NFC side, the same, one away team won, and the hot Falcons that we will talk about in the second or two as well. So the divisional round matchups was 1 versus 5 in the NFC, 1 versus 4 in the AFC, 2 versus 3, and 2 versus 3 on both sides of the spectrum. Which brought us matchups with the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Denver Broncos hosting the Buffalo Bills in the AFC. On the NFC side, you had the Arizona Cardinals hosting the Atlanta Falcons and the Super Bowl defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the New York Giants. Both the NFC games were rematches of season play, regular season play this year. They played already. Going into the playoffs, they played each other in the divisional round. All right, let's get into it real fast and talk about the matchups.
We're both working from home. The high-speed internet is absolutely critical. Get Fios, the 100% fiber optic network with upload.
All right, so let's go. Let's talk about it. The games that was played and the order that they were played. Let's go down here to the Broncos hosting the Buffalo Bills. Both on different trajectories this year. The Bills struggled a little bit this season, but got hot at the end of the year. With the Broncos being hot all year long in their second season with the sophomore Shedeur Sanders at the helm, playing really big football. So let's dig into what happened in this game. Just before we get into the matchups, we're looking at. I told y'all earlier I thought the Bills were a very complete team, one of the better rosters in the league. But they had a bunch of new pieces uh, on that football team. I think that the jail process of that, adding a lot of new weapons to their team, had to run its course. And I said if they got hot at the right time, they'll be a team that's going to be super dangerous because they are one of the fastest teams in the league. On the other end, the Broncos are reflipping and re-energizing their whole entire structure, uh, rebuilding their team. Man, they had a lot of savvy veterans that were on this roster. They had to turn the roster over, and they're building their franchise around Shador Sanders. The right thing to do, and I think they're to me, I think they're what we're a season away. I think coaching wise, they can coach their team up to beat anybody at any moment. But as far as the team being together and the pieces all being there, I think they're about a season away from that. You can see them probably taking another step going into the 2032 season, 2031 season. So let's dig into the game, see what happens. Box scores as follows. So you're looking at 14-0 in the first quarter, 21-10 second quarter. Let's dig into it. 394 to 382 offensive yards game. Buffalo Bill won that. 280 on the ground to 12 yards in the playoffs. Rushing for the Broncos, John Emery Jr. must not have had a good day. 114. So you see the Bills relied on their run game heavily. They threw the ball for 114, and the Broncos, Shador threw the ball around the park, 370. 14 first downs to 9. Broncos won that. You come down to total yards. Broncos won that, 478 to 442. Turnovers though, 5-1. I think this is a sign of just a young quarterback playing in the playoffs for the first time. With the turnovers, simple as that. Mike Weber's been a seasoned veteran at this point right now. Still a young gunner, but he's a veteran at this point right now. And the playoffs are not unfamiliar territory for him. He understands the playoffs. These guys have been in the championship game or the Super Bowl for the last 3 seasons, so they know what they're doing. The coach knows what he's doing, and the quarterback is, immune to any type of pressure when it comes down to the off season. So when you dig into it, numbers wise, what happened in this game: 118.7 QB rating, 105. Throw a touchdown, throw a pick. Shador 64%, 2 for 402 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times as well. I do think Shador, the experience he got in the playoffs this year, I think you'll see a better quarterback going into the next season. I think he's going to be one of the quarterbacks to talk about in that top 10 category. You get to the run game. Danger Griffey been playing well in the first playoff game. He continues that again. They did it between a few backs in their backfield. You got 9 carries for Danger. He went crazy, averaging 21.3 yards a pop and 3 touchdowns, 192 yards. 21.3 yards a carry is crazy. Fucking ridiculous, actually. The diaper Dan and Evan Pryor had 12 carries. He had 4.1. And then Clint Whitfield, I think, was one of the steals of free agency with 4 carries and 23 yards. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry, too. And fullback Andrew Truman also contributed. In the passing game, Bell, 10 catches, 284, 28.4 yards a pop and a touchdown, so he balled out. Marvin Harrison had 4 catches as well. Rayshawn Hendricks, the old Charger, comes in with a 62-yard bomb. Other than that, Wolf, the tight end, had 2 catches. Really not too much going on here, but obviously they relied on their run game. They're looking on the defensive side of things. Lennox, the Jamaican Castle, had 9 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. He had 3 interceptions in this game. Tim Smith, 8 tackles, a tackle for loss. Solomon DeShiel also had 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and the INT in this game as well. But like you saw the 5 INTs from the Broncos offense. So Castle had 3, Kaiser had 1, Isaac Taylor Stewart had 1 as well. Carrying the Broncos home, and the Bills move on to the AFC Championship game in a 38-17 victory over there. So you shoot over to the next game that was played, in this game it was crazy. Let's just call it what it was. We saw the Atlanta Falcons get hot. They got really hot. Their only 2 losses were divisional games early. to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the team that they will be playing for the third time this season. But in the playoffs, in the wild card round, you saw the Packers go up against the Falcons. The Falcons on the road in the snow. The weather did not matter, and they went crazy throwing the ball around the park. So you're looking at the total offensive yards gained in this game: 690 for the Falcons, 517 for the Cardinals. Where the young diaper dandy and I believe got benched in this game. We saw some Kyler Murray playing in this game. I think you got a young quarterback in the playoffs, man, especially a fresh rookie in the playoffs. Although this matchup presented two quarterbacks playing in the playoffs for the first time, Jaden Daniels as well. But Jaden has a little bit of experience under his belt. Amaliva doesn't have any. So he comes out in the game, and we see what happened uh, as the game was going on. A lot of interceptions early on. 38 rushing yards to 158. 652 offensive passing yards to 359. I mean, they threw the ball all around the park. 14 first downs to 21. Oh my God, 841. I mean, the Falcons have damn near put up 1,000 yards in 2 games, 2,000 yards in 2 games, both playoff games. These guys then scored damn near. I mean, not scored. Yeah, scored 70 points and put up damn near 800 yards. So you're looking at 2 games. You're looking at about 1,600 yards in 2 games from this offense. And you can't tell me they're having a ride. And that's crazy, especially playing a team and the coach of this caliber. 611 total offense yards for the Cardinals. 2 turnovers and 8. I mean, obviously you can't win a ball game with 8 turnovers. Turnovers are the key to any ball game for the most part, right? And the Cardinals turned the ball over 8 times in this game. As you can see, 7-7 first quarter, 21-3, 21-7, 21-14 goes the ball game. Let's look at personal stats. Jaden Daniel had 128.8 QB rating, 658, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks. He was sacked twice. Kyler Murray came in with 109.7. But you saw the young Nico. Nico will have better days, trust me. This guy's very special. When he came out in this game, maybe the light was a little too big for him at this moment. 57.5, 273, 2 touchdowns, 7 picks. You can't throw picks like that, Nico. Come on, young Nico. Gotta be a game manager in this ball game versus what you was doing. We had 14 catches, 84 yards. Kyler Murray also contributed in the run game, 54 yards as well. Jaden Daniels ran for 25 yards. They really didn't get it. I mean, 11 carries, 13 yards, 1.2. Couldn't get the running game going at all with E.J. Smith. But Tion Pitt, 7 catches, 297, 3 touchdowns. Roderick Smith, 4 catches, 207. I mean, it was just bombs away, 42.4, 51.8 per average per catch right now. 3 touchdowns out of their charge. There are 2 star receivers. Fuckback showed up 5 for 128, 2 touchdowns as well. Josh Downs, the North Carolina product, 5 for 125. He's going to be special too. Malachi Wideman, the superstar, 4 catches, 82 yards, 20.5 yards a pop. And then Eric Gilbert, 7 for 17, 2 touchdowns as well. EJ performed. He got 7 catches, 44 out the backfield, 6.3 in the touchdown. Kyle Pitts also scored. And Eric Middlebrooks, tight end, also scored as well in this ball game. Look on the defensive side of things, 10 tackles from Brad Dawkins, 8 from George. Dilworth showed up. The diaper dandy had 7 tackle for losses. At the department, you had 3 from Armand George. Dawkins had 2, and then a whole bunch of 1s. Get to the quarterback who got there the most, 3.5 sacks from Pat Taylor. And then Jay Thomas, the Florida State product, 1.5 sacks. You also had Sterling Weatherford got there, and Jeremy Cumberland got there. Cumberland Farms got there as well. Daniel Myers had a sack in this game too. So out of the 7 INTs, Tyreek Woolen stepped up, the cornerback, 6'4", super speed cornerback, had 3 picks in this game. Big Von Berry, the interception leader, had 2 as well. Keely Ringo had 1. Isaiah Bolden, Jackson State, 1. Reeves Allen also had a pick. Rashad Grant had a pick. Eric Stokes, a late pickup for them out of free agency, comes into this game and has a pick as well. And as you can see, the Falcons, 70. The Cardinals, 31, knocking off the number 1 seed in the NFC. I don't think none of us expected this to come at all. They played around week 16, I think, week 16 or 17. And the Cardinals won the game, and they did it through the run game. 6 rushing touchdowns from their running back, Wheaton. I just think they came out with a mindset they weren't trying to play. That's not their way of playing. And they stuck to their guns and what they like to do. And they tried to do that with a young quarterback in the playoffs for the first time, playing a guy that has really good user and likes to buzz that safety and his adjustment all game long. It can be effective if you're letting him run around and getting the shit set up. So We saw a bunch of big Von Burley dropping down, buzzing the whole game, no matter what the coverage was. And you can get caught up in trying to beat that, trying to tear it up. You see it, it can make you, it can piss you off. I know if I'm playing it, I'm telling you, fuck out of here, change the defense up. But it can make you think things. It can make you try to beat that setup versus beating the team. And I think that's what happened with the coach. I think Coach Falk got caught up in trying to beat the scheme of the Falcons, what they were doing defensively, instead of just winning the football game or playing a game that you know could put you in a situation. I don't think none of us thought 70 points was at home in the Arizona Cardinals. They're a very tough team, one of the, if not the best team in the league. They're top five for sure. But there it goes, 70-31. Again, you watching these Falcons, they're getting hot at the right time. On the other side of the spectrum, AFC side, you're watching the Buffalo Bills get hot at the right time. And that could be cause for speculation. They might be a problem if they not already. They're showing, man, they're showing shit right now. And then you go into the next game that was played, which was the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Baltimore Ravens, where Lamar Jackson and a few other ex-Baltimore Ravens travel back to Charm City to take on the new look Baltimore Ravens. Let's see what happened in this game. Box score. All right, let's talk about offensive yards gained: 204 to 489, 35 rushing yards to 250, and a situation where Breece Hall, playoff guy. I don't know if this was his first playoff appearance. It might have been. But, the Jaguars are predicate off the run game. But the problem is they threw the ball all year this year. Lamar had a great year throwing the football, and they had a nice little run balance with it. Their attack is pretty solid. It showed up in this game as well. I think momentum really destroyed this game, and the Jaguars not scoring a touchdown in the first half really hurt them in this game. They had 169 passing yards. The Baltimore, number one ranked defense in the league, their pass defense showed up in this game. 169. Baltimore threw for 239. They won the passing attack there. First down, 17-11. 250 yards rushing out of Baltimore. With multiple players contributing to that 250 yards rushing. You look at turnovers, 1 turnover to 5. Again, turnovers are the key factor of ball games. Man, time of possession, 14-34. 36 to 17-21. Look at individual stats. Anthony Iverson came in with 133.1. Lamar Jackson had a 62.3 QB rating, 499 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. And Iverson had 261, 3 touchdowns, and an INT in this game. He was sacked twice, and Lamar was sacked 4 times in this ball game. And 3 of those sacks came on one drive after halftime. And a key moment in the game where Jacksonville just kicked the field goal before halftime, put themselves in a 2-score game with the ball at halftime where they needed to go down and get points. And the Baltimore Ravens sacked Lamar 3 straight times on that drive, which changed this whole game momentum-wise. They went down to score, and then a punt on the kickoff, fumble, and then a touchdown, then a kickoff, fumble, scoop, and score for a touchdown. That it got called back, but it changed the whole momentum and dynamics of the game. Looking at the run game, both teams, you had Bijan Robinson, 16 catches, 112 yards, 7 yards a pop, 2 touchdowns. Jamar Gibbs showed up, 5 catches, 92 yards, 18.4 yards a pop. He didn't see the end zone, but however, Anthony Iverson had scored 3 rushing touchdowns on 6.6 yards a pop, 7 for 46. Breece Hall, 12 carries, 35 yards, 2.9 yards a game. He kind of was shut. In the receiving game, Jameson Williams popped up, 5 for 154. 3 touchdowns. Sky Moore played pretty solid for the Jaguars with 4 catches, 56 yards. You had Breece Hall off the backfield, 5 for 50. DW had 1 catch, 38 yards. Got to show up a little bit more. Dennis Pitt 3 for 38 and a touchdown. Alev had 1 catch for 24 yards. That was probably more of our key of our defense to make sure we can limit him. Bijan off the backfield, 2 for 20 yards, 10 yards a pop. Gibbs had 2 for 19, 9.5 a pop. And then everybody else just cleaned up plays. You look at the defensive side of things, what happened over here. Donovan Steiner's captain Baltimore comes back to Baltimore, leads the game in tackles, 9. Jeremiah Wilder had 8. Lamar London, another DC product, had 7. Devon Adams had 7 tackles, and Ray Lewis comes back in the building with 6 too as well. So let's look at the tackle for losses. 2 tackles for losses, Ray Lewis, 2, and then we're not gonna count the 1 sacks though. What happened in this game? Peter Bulwer showed up with 2. Ray Lewis had 1.5. Brian Breezy had one. Bobby Teller came off the edge with one, and Patrick Queen had a half a sack as well. In the INT department, Donovan Steiner had a pick. D-Ron Adams had a pick. Derek Stingley had a pick. Jimmy Voorhees had a pick. And then Ryan Watts had an INT in this game as well. Sending the Baltimore Ravens to the AFC Championship game, matched up against the hot Buffalo Bills team, and sending the Falcons travel back to Tampa Bay to probably, I would think, will be the matchup he wants, right? Only his only three. I mean, he lost 3 times this year. He lost to the Cardinals. He revenged that loss in the playoffs. He lost twice to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Can the Falcons uh, revenge that game in the biggest game that matters the most, right? Playing somebody 3 times in the season is very, very hard. Should have waited to Saturday to play right. I don't know what's going on with the playoffs, man. It was Max. Max fucked the whole playoffs up. Fucked the whole playoffs up. And we get down here 59-24. We didn't talk about this game because it was the last game that was played. So let's get to it. In Tampa Bay, the New York Giants, who lost a very close game in the regular season, which flipped the whole script, because you got to look how the NFC was going at the time. It was the Cardinals and the Giants were the only undefeated teams left, and they matched up, and the Giants handled the Cardinals very, really took it to them, really. Like, they kind of like did what they wanted in that game, and it put the Cardinals on course to, being a wild card again. But then the undefeated Giants had to take on the one-loss Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team who they haven't beaten since their Super Bowl season. So they get into that game, and it looks like the Giants were on their way to a victory, and a woo baby one-play tutty happened on man-to-man, and Thaddeus Woodbury went right down the seam for a touchdown, giving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the dub in this game. Now, in the first matchup, the quarterback, Ray Wills, killed the Giants. All their big drives, he was producing on the ground as a runner. So I'm assuming the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, had to feel like they had to prepare for the Giants to be able to try to take that part of the game away, which, makes it hard. You can't take everything they like to do away and try to spy a quarterback. So I don't know. I didn't watch this game, but I would just think, playing a game, you would counter. You played them already. You got to think about what you did well and what's going to stand out for the Giants to come back to try to take away. But whatever happened was a 59-24 ball game. As you can see, the box score looked like Tampa Bay 14 went up 28-10. Scored 2 more touchdowns in the third quarter. Also scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. Holding that defense showed up, man. Holding Giants, so a touchdown a quarter for the most part. But look at it, 388 offensive yards gained, 371 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Giants won that. Looking at 35 rushing yards, 222. They got busy on the ground. Jaleel Ruggs showed up. I'm assuming Ray Wills had something to do with that as well. But we know that was the Jaleel Ruggs show. 353 on the passing game of 149. They decided we don't have to throw the ball around the park to win this ball game. 15 first down to 12. 22 kick return yards, 423 total yards gained, 484 turnovers, 1 and 5. I mean, every game that was lost, you saw multiple turnovers in the game. I think this is the reason why the divisional rounds have such lopsided scores. Nico? This? Here. Yeah, so again, wide margin scores in each game, and all of them was the result of the team that lost turning the ball over. It's just that simple. Like, flat out, don't go no further than that. Any stat you could talk about, stand out, whatever the case may be. Any of those stats really don't matter because the turnovers is the reason why the games are lopsided. At this point, you're playing, some of the better teams, or some of the better coached teams in the league. So, what separates that? Play calling and things that happen in the game, momentum and decisions. With the Tampa Bay beating the Giants once more, 59-24. All right, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will stay home and face the Atlanta Falcons. The Buffalo Bills will travel to Baltimore in the snow. Big time matchups here. In the AFC, you got a team that's been steady all year, with one loss, going up against a team that has the horses to compete with anybody in this league. Their roster is top three for sure. Speed wise, that they might be, if they're not, as just as fast as Baltimore, they're the second fastest team in the league in my opinion. I do think we are the fastest team in the league. I think Buffalo is right there if they're not as fast or faster. It's 1-2 right now in this game. So speed is everything with the snow on the field. Uh, takes away from some of that speed. But again, I think the Buffalo Bills started to gel going into the end of the season. They started to gel. They started to pile up wins, stats, everything. They started to show their explosiveness. They started to show uh, how the weapons they have at the receiver position, tight end, at the running back position. They started to show the depth that they actually have. They spent the whole year building Evan Pryor, the fastest running back out of the draft. They spent the whole year building him, but when times got sticky, they went right to danger. They also trying to bring in Whitfield as well, who I think is going to be a vital part to the Buffalo Bills offense going forward. They got a steal after the preseason when they picked up Clinton Whitfield, was the number one running back in his draft class, supposed to take over for Jawan Springs, and ended up on the Buffalo Bills roster. So they're doing a good job between their running backs. I think they got the gel process with their receiver core. And their quarterback got hot at the right time. He didn't come out of one game where he didn't play well for him. And what I mean by play well, I have to have staggering numbers, crazy numbers. He's a veteran, right? So he's a veteran in this league. So he understands how to win a game, how to game manage if he has to. And you look at what he did. Only a 51.2 QB rating here, 116 yards, two interceptions. So you think, he didn't have a really big game here. But then he shows up on the ground. 8 carries, 74 yards, 9.3, one touchdown. He wielded his team to a victory no matter what. And you can see the strength between the two running backs, like the Dandy and Danger Griffin. Really, really two same size running backs, right? For the most part, same size, same physique. They could both do the same things, and speed kills. Simple as that. Both of those guys played well for him in the wild card round. Then you get into the divisional round, and you look at the veteran quarterback in Mike Weber and what he did in this game as well. 118.7, only 105 yards, touchdown, game manager, made sure his team was able to produce here, running the ball, running it well, and and this point, what makes him a big player at this moment is because one turnover can win you a ball game, especially if the other team is turning the ball over a lot. And Mike Weber came out and was a game manager for the most part. When you look at the other side of things, you got a quarterback that came out of nowhere, least suspected to do anything, and the kid is just different. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Different. Lions or Jaguars? Yep, send all trades to the Giants or Jaguars. I don't know where the hell Nano or Matt's been at, so I have no idea what they got going on. But I do know Antonio is available, and so is Shogun. You can send it to me too. I can try to get to it as well. But let's get back to the quarterback play. Jaden Daniels. Let's tell the story of Jaden Daniels. He came over in week 6, after week 6, and was the starting quarterback for this team. They wanted to upgrade at the speed position. I mean, they had a great quarterback in C.J. Stroud. They just didn't like the speed with him. Malik Willis might possibly be on the move. Oh shit, that's a big move. I see you was listening. Good shit. That's a big time move. Oh my god. Can you save his career? All right, so let's talk the story of the quarterback that's left in this game. All right, so you got Jaden Daniels, um, a backup for the Baltimore Ravens, who's now the starter for Atlanta Falcons. Ray Wills, who played for Las Vegas, who was the starter for a couple of seasons and then lost his job and got traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he is now the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Weber was drafted by the Buffalo Bills, crafted by the Buffalo Bills, and we know he's one of the best throwers in the league when it comes down to ball placement, putting the ball where it needs to be at. And then you got super athlete Anthony Iverson, who has one of the better deep balls in the league as well. Athletic, second coming of Lamar Jackson for his speed and the way he can move around in the pocket and run his offense. I mean, the quarterbacks, these quarterbacks are legit. You got to stop right here at Jaden Daniels and think about, what he's done in his short time as a starting quarterback for the first time, right? Like he hasn't even been a full season starting quarterback. And down the stretch, he just was amazing. I mean, you come out in this game and you just, 126.5 QB rating. I'm not going to say the complete numbers. You can read it. Six, the last one. 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, you throw the ball that many times and only throw 2 interceptions, incomplete 10 passes. That's special. 69% in this game, throwing the ball all around the park. And he also can give them a little bit on the ground as well. Not only did he fling the ball for damn near 700 yards, he also ran for 61 yards of a touchdown in this game. So you're looking at a hot quarterback coming down the stretch while he's in the playoffs, and he gets to Arizona in the desert. And again, big time numbers. The quarterback's playing out lights out right now. 128.8, 658, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks, 4 interceptions in 2 games, and he threw the ball over 100 times. That's special. Very special. Only sacked twice as well, 68% completion percentage. I think when it comes down to Jaden Daniels, can the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get to him? Can they make him throw errant passes? You got to make him throw off balance, not put pressure on him. Don't let him sit comfortable in the pocket. And get to and you got to put some type of pressure on them wide receivers. Get them at the line of scrimmage. Don't let them get a quick free release. Things like that, because if they are in line with each other, it's lights out. They throw the ball all over the park. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do a really good job in their cover 4 scheme, where they can really, really give you a problem if you just throwing the ball, and that's my problem with the Falcons. Do they come into this game, and use E.J. Smith not only as a receiver, a damn near 1,000-yard receiver at that? Can they get him going in the run game? You're playing a 3-time Super Bowl winning champ. They're really good in their secondary. If you're one-dimensional, this team really, really can lay it on you and make it hard for you to move the ball. But we're seeing, tournament. I'm talking about Madden tournament football out of the coach that coaches this team too. Where it doesn't matter, that they if you follow the Madden tournament players, they all run the same shit. They set it up the same way, and they know their reads and they run it up and down the field. I call it arcade ball, right? No real sense of worrying about. I mean, if we didn't have punts, if we didn't have a punt rule, they wouldn't punt the ball if they was on the 1-yard line, 4 for 50. They're not punting it. The way they play, right? They want to score and continue to score and score more. But they're going to face a team that's going to play football, right? They don't give a fuck about anything else but the win, so they're going to play football. If they got to control the clock, they're going to do that. If they got to throw the ball, they're going to do that. They got to run the ball 1,000 times, they will do that. Anything to get the dub. And in that sense, are the Falcons ready to be able to play that type of style? When they have to play a team that will, run the ball at them, things like that. It seems like that's where they struggle the most at. But I do think, if this quarterback continues on the path he's on right now, we might be looking at something we've never seen before. Let's just face it. I mean, in 2 ball games, he threw for 1,400 yards. 2 ball games, he's damn near threw for 15 touchdowns. In 2 ball games, with all those passes, over 100 passes, he's only thrown 4 interceptions. This is special. So let's not take away from what special looks like. And he's doing it at a very fast rate right now. I mean, these guys are scoring touchdowns every 2 minutes at this point right now. Up and down the field, 3 or 4 plays strike. Again, and they can do it from the pocket. They can roll out. They can do, they can make things happen with Jaden Daniels, and he's been very special. Now, is this, something that we're going to continue to see going forward, or he's just hot right now? What is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think it's here to stay. And I think he's going to build off of that, and which is going to make him very, 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 very dangerous and hard to stop. But on the other side of it, you got a very smooth system as well with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These guys got a system that has given any and everybody they play a fucking problem. Bottom line, they got a running back that don't have to have a big day as long as he's scoring points in the red zone. And Jaleel Ruggs, the touchdown leader of the last 4 seasons, right? As far as running backs, right? Um, this team want to get you in situations. They want to push the ball down the field. They want to get in the red zone. They want to let that running back win the red zone attempts. They want to get in the end zone on the ground. Um, when you play in the Atlanta Falcon defense, who want to force you into turnover, so they don't want to chase runs. They want to chase and use your and do shit that most guys can't do with their user when you're passing the football, and just feel like he's everywhere, right? Um, so you got a team that can run the ball really well against a team that can, that uses very well. That don't really want you running the ball, and he wants the ball back fast, right? So I think this game will get slowed down. I don't know if the Falcons will match that tempo or will they stick to their guns and do what they've been doing that got them looking so special in these playoffs this year, because that's what they look. They look very special right now. You got 2 young quarterbacks doing it for the first time. Again, Ray Wills had a playoff game. Huh? Everything. So again, when you're looking at the quarterbacks, right? You got Ray Wills. Now Ray Wills is from the same class as Anthony Iverson and Mike Weber, the last real draft class. I mean, last Game of Thrones draft class. So these guys have been in the league for a little bit, about 4 or 5 years now. Um, but Ray Wills have had a playoff appearance for Las Vegas. They actually have a playoff win under their belt with Ray Wills as the quarterback. But now he's in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers system, and he's giving them a little different feel. Where Bradshaw didn't really have the no pun intended, the wills to be able to make people have to honor the quarterback running the ball, or they would throw it away. They don't have to now. They can extend the play with their quarterback's wills. He can run the football, and in those situations, that makes this team that much dangerous, right? Um, but the experience in the playoffs isn't there. He had one playoff appearance. He does have again a win under his belt, but now he's in a different system and on a fly. They started to play him. Shortly after like week 2, they started to play Ray Wills, and he's done a hell of a job all year for this offense. It's almost like plug and play. There, but there's some kinks in the iron. In the iron. Bottom line, there's some kinks in the iron. Can the Falcons figure it out? Can anybody figure it out? At the end of the day, right? And again, both teams play really good defense. And it's going to come to me. I think it comes down to uh, momentum and possessions in this ball game. Uh, this is a hard game to pick. Do you look at the styles, the contrasting styles they have, and say, well, the Falcons, they can't stop the run. How do you look at this ball game? Me, I wouldn't if this was a gift, pick the winner gift. I wouldn't know who to pick in this game. I would go. I guess far as style of play, I would go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game because I just don't know how much you did it twice, wild card and divisional round, and you did it in a game where you played the best coach in our league, and did it. But can you continue to do it? Like I don't think that quarterback be that hot in every game he's playing in the playoffs. And what happens if he does cool off a little bit in this game? Do you put the fire out so bad that he doesn't play well at all, and leads Tampa Bay to a dub, or you put the fire? I mean, because 700 yards a game right now in the playoffs. If he throw for 3, that's most guys can't even do that. And me being one of them. So you throw for 300 yards in the playoff game, and go from 8 and 9 touchdowns to 4-5, can he still win the ball game? I do know this. I don't think Tampa Bay want to get in a shootout with this team at all. Um, what do y'all think? Should this be a pick a winner game? Does this game fall on the quarterbacks? I think it does fall on Jaden Daniels. I don't think it falls on Ray Wills though. I think when it comes to the Bucks, you can go a little farther than just Ray Wills. Um, and obviously, it comes down to what Jaleel Ruggs does in this game, offensively. On the other side of things, you got two quarterbacks from the same draft class, Mike Weber and Anthony Iverson. Different paths to their starting, taking over for their programs, right? I think this falls on what defense can get more stops. Yep, I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. You said that. All right, let me get that trade in the trade chat. So it looked like y'all both agreed on something, right? That's huge. That's huge for the conversation. Either you gonna be a genius or an idiot for going to your third quarterback in 4 years. All right, this has been a championship game for the last 3 seasons. Now, in all three matchups, the home team has won. Buffalo won 2 years ago, went to the Super Bowl to play Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then the Baltimore Ravens won the last two because they had home field advantage the last two times, losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2 years in a row in the Super Bowl. This matchup is crazy because they're on, again, different trajectories. Like you're looking at a team that got hot late, they're hot right now, versus a team that's been steady and playing really good football all year as well. And they were playing the elements. Two of the fastest teams in the league lined up in the snow in Baltimore in January weather. So I mean, it comes down to me. It comes down to run game, both teams, and quarterback play. Defense is going to be there as well, but quarterback play is going to be a factor in this game. I think within the run game, obviously, right? They traded the Falcons for B. John Robinson, and Jahmyr Gibbs along with AI as their running backs over there, and then you got the Bills who got about 4 or 5 running backs, but the main three they use plus the quarterback is in play at this point right now too. So it's heavy run games over here, but I do think it comes down to Mike Weber and Anthony Iverson, who's going to be able to make those passes they need to make in that type of weather element, to be able to keep the chains moving, or score that touchdown that needs to be scored. Um, but I do think it falls on both quarterbacks. Arms in this game. I don't think, I doubt it's going to be a throw it around a park type game, but I'm just saying one of these quarterbacks is going to make a play, whether it's with their feet or with their arm. And not to make a play to do something, whether it's extend the drive, to get down for a field goal, whatever the case may be. There, it's going to come down to AI and Mike Weber. Um, and it's been the formula each game they've played. Even in the regular season, it comes down to who can make a play at the right moment. All right, so we've seen the schedule time for the Tampa Bay Falcons game. Looking at a 10:30 game, um, and the Ravens and the Bills will kick off soon as well. And looking at this, and then you got the Super Bowl, and we right into the off season. The off season starts right after the Super Bowl. So what's the day? Friday, um, at the latest, I guess. Sunday Super Bowl, or I mean Sundays, no, Sunday off season or Saturday night off season, depending on the winners and who's going to play, what time the games get played tomorrow. All right, so good luck to everybody that's remaining in the playoffs right now, in these championship games. Um, and again, if you're not playing right now, get your off season on, get your GMs on, um, trades, get all the stuff y'all need to get done now. It's going to be some things. It's going to be a list of things happening. Remember, the Giants had an issue with roster trying to sign old guys so we can drop them. They kind of like stuck on this roster and they keep cutting these players. So I'm going to have a list of Giants players that nobody can't touch until hopefully it resets itself and fixes during the off season. But other than that, man, it's been a slow playoffs, man. It's been a slow playoff, especially if you ain't playing or you lost. You want this shit done. I know how I am when I'm out of it. I'm ready for let's go, let's get to it. I apologize. We do have to get better when it comes down to the playoffs. I mean, this league runs on like clockwork, regular season, and then we get to the playoffs, and it's just like we turn into a 48-hour fucking league. I don't understand the problem, the issues there, but we got to get better. And I'll do my best to make things happen a little better, so we're not in this situation because there's no way we should have been in the divisional round as long. It wasn't super long, but the wild card games that got played after the wild card games got played, and we rushed it, got played at the right time. We rushed the Green Bay Packers and the Falcons to play their game, and then all of a sudden, we go beyond 24 hours in the divisional round. I mean, but the good look is this: we at the Final Four right now, so Final Four and get into a Super Bowl. I mean, we're looking at two advances at that, and then we can get right to the off season and get it all the way in. Do we want to pick a winner game? How about that? Yeah, let's look at this Falcons game and this Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. If you're still on watching, you're still on riding out the show with me, hit the like button, please. Um, Screenshot the fact that you hit the like button. And now's your time to pick your winner right now. Who do you got, Tampa Bay or the Falcons? If I don't have a comment of you picking the game while we're broadcasting right now, you won't have an opportunity to pick the game after that. So I need to see your name and your pick in the comment section right now. Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Pick the winner gift, and the gift will be on a rookie. So it would be on a rookie after the offseason. You draft somebody, your gift would be on that rookie, and you guys will be able to choose what rookie you want that gift on. But the gift will be up to me. Obviously, a trait upgrade or a 2-speed to excel. You know what? Let's do something special here, since let's see who's really watching right now. After the draft, any player you draft, not pick up in free agency. Any player you draft, if you pick the winner of this game, you'll get a trait upgrade. So if he's a star, he goes to superstar. If he's a superstar, he goes to X Factor, and it's 2-speed to excel on whatever player you choose. To get that, you need to post your game, the winner who you think will win, in this comment section right now. And you also need to screenshot that you hit the like button and send that to the Giants coach, which is Max. Send it to him, and after the off season's over, we get to the preseason. You'll get just 2-speed to excel and a trait upgrade on any rookie you decide if you pick the winner of that game. I'm gonna give you all about 5 minutes for that. While we look at player of the week. So let's see who went crazy in the wild card round and who went crazy in the divisional round. So the wild card round, Jaden Daniels, NFC Offensive Player of the week, 23 for 33, only 10 incomplete passes, 606 yards passing, 8 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. He had 61 rushing yards, and so they counted for 9 of their touchdowns. Savell Small showed up, 6 tackles against the Eagles, 6 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. Danny Gray shows up with 6 catches against the Jaguars, 255, 3 receiving touchdowns. Now Aubrey Miller, HBCU Jackson State, 1 tackle, 3 interceptions against the Browns in the wild card round. There go your player of the week. So we got the Bucks got picked, Dirty Birds got picked, Bucks got picked twice. All right, so that's 3. And let's go to week divisional round. Let's see what happens. So Jaden Daniels steps up again, 26 to 38, 658. He threw 9 touchdowns in this game, 2 interceptions. He was sacked twice. He had 2 carries, 55 yards, and 1 fumble. And the AFC Offensive Player was Anthony Iverson, 15 for 21, 261 passing, 3 passing touchdowns. He did throw INT, he was sacked twice. He also had 7 carries for 46 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns in this game. Tyreek Woolen, the 6'4" corner, 6 tackles, 3 interceptions and a touchdown. And the Jamaican, Lance Castle, 9 tackles, 3 interceptions and a touchdown. That's really a hard game to pick right now, man. I'm gonna go. I don't know who I'm ready to go with, but I gotta go with somebody. Who you picking, Erica T or Craig? All right, that's my pick. Whatever she pick, I'm picking. You said T? All right, we're going with T then. All right, fellas, divisional round, man. The AFC game obviously will be played before the NFC game. We got a 10 o'clock, 10:30 game between the Falcons and the Bucks, and the Baltimore Ravens and the Bills should be kicking off within the next half an hour, hopefully. If I know he been ready since 12:30 this afternoon, hitting duck emojis in the chat and shit. All right, let's look at key players for the Bills this season. Obviously, their quarterback, 4,333 yards passing, 46 touchdowns, 34 interceptions, 65% on the year, 254.9. You see what their focus was. They focused on their run game a lot this year. As you can see, damn near 3 guys with 100 carries. 148 out of Danger Griff had 818. Evan Pryor also contributed with 119, 64 touchdown, 640 yards rushing, 5.4 yards to pop, 11 touchdowns as well. Weber also started to play a little bit bigger in their run game as well, 62 carries, 596, and 2 touchdowns. 10 fumbles from the quarterback position, though that's huge. In their receiving game, they had a lot of guys that they had to get involved as receivers, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys over 20 plus catches. You're looking at rookie diaper dandy Hudson Wolf, 28 catches. Evan Pryor out the backfield with 36 catches. Rayshawn Hendricks, the free agency pickup from the Chargers, 30 for 754 yards, double digits. Marcus McClain, the HBCU dog that they drafted a year ago, 65 catches, 829, 14 touchdowns. And then Chris Poole, at the moment you forget that they have a dynamic weapon in Chris Poole, he had 42 catches for 1421, 14 touchdowns as well. When you look at the Ravens and what they did this year, you're looking at passing right now. Anthony Iverson threw for 5,255 yards, 72 touchdowns, 16 picks, 68% on the year, 309 a game. Sacked 33 times. Rushing, Bijan Robinson, 320 carries. They haven't had her back with 300 carries since Casey Fields' rookie year. But he had 320, 2,923 rushing yards, 9.1 a pop, 30 rushing touchdowns, 71.9, so 172 a game. Jamar Gibbs had 100 carries for 616, 6 yards a pop, only 3 rushing touchdowns. Iverson had 63 carries for 479, 8 rushing touchdowns. In the receiving department, Jackson Smith-Njigba, a trade pickup that was huge, just like Bijan Robinson, another trade piece that they had. Jameson Williams, 52 catches on the year. Darnell Washington, 57 catches. Pickens with 28. Bijan Robinson out the backfield 37 times, along with Jamari Gibbs with 24. Young case, Kevin Coleman had 12 catches on the year. He did a lot of punt return, kick return duties. 3 guys went over 1,000. Jackson had 1,288, 22 touchdowns. Jameson 1,230, 19 touchdowns. DW had 1,162, 14 touchdowns. Pickens had 10 touchdowns for 529, and then B. John and Jamar Gibbs totaled up for almost 600, a little bit over 600 yards and 5 touchdowns there. When you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Ray Wills threw for 6,464 yards, 61 touchdowns, 14 INTs, 77%, 404 yards a game, 144.5 QB rating, and only 17 stats. Rushing, though, Jaleel Ruggs, 264 carries, 1677, 48 rushing touchdowns. Ray Wills contributed for 420, 10.5, 2 touchdowns, and only fumbled 1 time. Brew McCoy went over 100 catches this year, 118, 2,964, 25.1 yards a pop, 175 yards a game, 36 touchdowns. Thaddeus Woodbury at the number 2 receiver role had 58 catches, 1277, and 7 touchdowns. And then there's 99 Reasons, 72 catches, 1197, 17 touchdowns. Ruggs out the backfield for 70 catches, 799 yards, so 800 yards. He only had 1 touchdown out the backfield. Backup tight end Jeremy Ruckers had 19 catches as well, 412, 2 touchdowns. And then there's the slot guy, Khalil Shakir, 11 for 213, and a touchdown. When you go look at the Atlanta Falcons, Falcon football, let's see what they did at the quarterback spot. You got to remember, C.J. Stroud was the starting quarterback for the first 6 games. So he threw for almost 3,000 yards as well, 26 touchdowns. So remember those numbers. Now, 5,188 out of Jaden Daniels, 62 touchdowns, 25 interceptions, 73%, 400 yards a game, 24 sacks. In the run game, EJ had 128 carries, 818. Daniels contributed with 29, with 7 rushing touchdowns as well. And then in the receiving game, a whole bunch of guys went dummies for this team. Teion Pitts, second. He led in yards, second on the team in receptions. They had 3 guys with 70 plus catches, and their running back almost had 70 catches as well. It's huge. But Teion with 72 catches, 1986, 27.6, 27 touchdowns. Roderick Smith, 62, 1893, 30.5 catch, 111 a game, 26 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts, 77 catches, 1651, 17. And then young Jalen Ford, veteran Jalen Ford, 70 for 1,000, 8 touchdowns. EJ almost touched 1,000 yards out of the backfield as well with 7 touchdowns. That's the offensive production from the 4 teams remaining right now, man. These guys, can spread it around. They can spread it around pretty much. It's going to be a lot of key matchups here. I think the biggest matchup with the Falcons and the Bucs are going to be the secondary. The line it's going to be I would say the front 7 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And usually when you're thinking about the front 7, you want to talk about controlling the run game, but the Falcons are a different animal. I think you need your front 7 to be disruptive in this game to be able to really try to handle this team. You're not going to just do it with your secondary. I don't care how good your secondary is. What they do over there is different. They're very special. So you need your front 7 to play that. I mean, you need your front 4 to get pressure, and your linebackers to be active. Not only getting pressure, but they need to be active in the pass game as far as pass defense as well. When it comes down to the matchup, I don't really see too many individual matchups. I think the spread of the wealth that happens over here in Atlanta doesn't lead to one-on-one football, in my opinion. It's whoever the hell's open going to get the football type shit in their system. But when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Falcons, you're looking at the safety that has the most interceptions in the league at this point right now, with like 24 on the season. But you got to go up against guys like Brew McCoy, 99 Reasons. What's your answer for the 4-headed monster now? So in my opinion, it's Brew McCoy, Jaleel Ruggs, 99 Reasons, and Ray Wills. what can the Falcons do to prevent them for, going off? I don't think there's anybody that can shut any of those players down completely, but how do you contain it? Can you stop Jaleel Ruggs from being a force in the red zone? Can you stop 99 Reasons for keeping the chains moving? And the way Brew McCoy played all year, he's been one of the best receivers in the league all year with 118 catches and almost 3,000 yards, receiving yards. So how do you combat that? Um, if you take away something, where are you going to be weak at? And if you do take away something, can the Bucks make you pay for that taking away, putting the effort to take away the passing game and kill you with the run, or try to take away Brew McCoy and kill you with 99 Reasons. Take away Jaleel Ruggs, but Ray Wills is contributing in the run game. Like, how do you balance that? How do you counter that? I think there's going to be got to be some really good coaching in these 4 games. I mean, these 2 games, these 14, through these 14 right now. Again, I already spoke on what I thought with the Ravens and the Bills. In the weather, I think who's going to have the better run game, who's going to have the best success stopping the run, and what quarterbacks can make a play when they need it to, when they're asked to make a play. And the way Mike Weber accuracy is, can the weather, the wind, those things, can they get in the way of his accuracy? In his first 2 games, he's been a game manager. He hasn't been asked to have to go out there and win a ball game. He's been asked to go out there and not lose the ball game. So he's already prepped in 2 games to play a type of game that he has to play, and I'm assuming because he played in the elements in all his games, and that might be to his advantage because he's been playing in the snow the whole playoffs, and the Baltimore Ravens didn't have a snow game in the divisional round, but they do have one in the championship round. So they've been prepped to play in the snow already. So does that help the Bills going into this matchup? Been already been playing in the elements for two straight weeks. And does that help them? They already been, if you look at the numbers of their quarterback, you can tell it's been weather. The weather has been effective. So we shall see. I mean, both these teams come from the weather, so really shouldn't be that much of an issue as far as those guys being prepared and getting ready for that. But again, it's going to come down to who can stop who in the run game, and possessions matter. Possession matter. I mean, the year the Buffalo Bills went to the Super Bowl, there was only 1 touchdown scored in that game. It was an all field goal game in the weather. So it's big. We shall see, man. Tune in. Other than that, and hit the franchise guru. See you when I see you. All at it.